close out the settlement agreement for Father Panik and Pequonnock Apartments. It's been a long and not always easy journey to get to this day, but because of the great partnership effort, we have a lot to celebrate today. Father Panik Village, for most of us here, was known as a dangerous place, one with drugs, prostitution, shooting, and other criminal activity. It was not the decent sanitary housing that residents deserved. But this had not always been the case. It was the first public housing project in New England. It was the 6th largest public housing project in the country. It was designed to get rid of poverty and crime in the city. It was actually a model for what other cities could do. It provided excellent housing to the residents of Bridgeport. But as we know, things declined, and in the 70s and 80s, it became known as a centralized point for crime and drug dealing. In 1987, the tenants of Father Panik Village filed a class action lawsuit claiming the Housing Authority did not provide decent, safe, and sanitary housing. And as you know, that lawsuit was settled in 1990, when the Housing Authority agreed to replace all of the 1,063 units. The Housing Authority demolished the last of Father Panik Village in 1993, and the federal settlement agreement required the Housing Authority to develop 818 units of federal public housing and provide 245 project-based Section 8 units. Today we've improved the lives of residents by providing decent, safe, and sanitary housing in scattered site developments with both public housing and Section 8. We no longer have the Pequonnock high-rise. We no longer have the sprawl of Father Panik Village. We moved to the scattered site model with examples around the room, and soon, as Nick had mentioned, others mentioned, the Albion Street project, hopefully that kind of complete that. So we congratulate everyone on the significance of this celebration, not only that it represents the end of a long journey, but more importantly, because of the new beginning that this effort provided Bridgeport residents. Thank you.
Today's event is really profoundly significant for the nation as well as for the state of Connecticut, which is why I wanted to be here, really to say thank you. Father Panik was a priest who believed in a vision and fought for it and achieved it. 5,400 people lived in the village that he created with a gym and a community center, retail outlets, 5,400 people, making it at the time one of the larger local communities. So today's agreement really marks the renewal of a vision, an old vision in a new form, scattered site, mixed income, but still committed to the cause of housing, providing people with that basic necessity that they need and deserve.
David, when you read off those figures, my heart started pounding because I've been hearing them for the last 4 years. When I took on the responsibility as chairwoman after Kathleen, I knew that I had really large shoes to fill, and I knew that we had unfinished business. So today, I stand before you feeling a lot lighter, like an albatross has been lifted from around my neck. But I also want to say that this is not the end, this is just the beginning. As the mayor mentioned, we have the Albion Street development, the redevelopment of Marina Village, and other projects on the horizon. So I just want to say thank you for all of you around the room that had something to do with this project and the completion of this. So this is one chapter that we're closing, but the book is not done. And I also want to say thank you to my fellow commissioners that are here with us this morning. Thank you.
But I do want to thank the patience of the residents of Father Panik, the residents of Panik, people on the waiting list, for the time it took us to get to this point in time. I always say this every time a new development is open. The greatest feeling I have when I see that family move into that particular unit for the first time. Not to separate the two, but last Thursday we leased up the last unit of Pequonnock. Okay, so Pequonnock is officially now completed, but all the units have basically been accepted by the Housing Authority, and we're leasing up at that point. And just basically, it's going to be 35 units in Albion and a couple of strays we have to get cleaned up in the next couple of months. I do want to thank everyone that actually helped and gave a lot of their time, especially the staff of the Housing Authority and the commissioners. I don't think a lot of people see what goes on a day-to-day basis, and every time there's some crisis or speed bump or even landmine that we have to basically navigate through. If I was going to name the people that actually I have to give recognition to, I do have to underscore the role that Kathleen Vila played. In fact, before she passed, she was contemplating retirement. And I said, you've been riding this horse for 20 years, Kathleen. You got to ride this horse as a champ. She didn't make it. I know that her spirit is here to see this get done. Also, interesting for me, looking back from a historical perspective, you take someone like Father Panik, who gave his entire life to house the poor. And when you look back at the connotations that the word Father Panik has in the city of Bridgeport, it's usually not very positive. And one of the things I had an argument with the attorneys was on the closeout documents. I said I want to do the Yellow Mill Pond closeout agreement to permanently remove Father Panik from this particular exercise, because in reality, his name should be revered and not be put down as something that basically has, I'll say, a lot of ill will with a lot of people.
You know, the development of is really 1,463 units of housing for public housing residents for the next 4 years is a big deal. It's a big accomplishment. And lots of people have a piece of that accomplishment. And I think I have the highest regard for Nicholas and Peter Haynes. I think, you know, they were the folks, remember, you know, nobody else got it done. These guys got it done. And they were nimble, they were intelligent, they were great problem solvers, so I think they really get kudos. So my hope is that as we go forward in Bridgeport with Marina Village, and I hope the Greens down the road, that we keep these lessons in mind, implement them, and be open to learning some new ones.
Marvin, you're right here.
I've done this before. On the count of three, we're going to say Yellow Mill. 1, 2, 3. Yellow Mill.
All right, if you want to go ahead and sign, go right ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You got.
We can just pass the book.
You got a couple. This is your. We will send it out.
Okay.
The council's here.
Yep.
I'm signing the release,
I look
Council.
at it, sir. The attachment is this document.
Wow. All right, just for all you non-lawyers out there, which I'm one, this is the document. This is all the supporting information. So this is what Mendick gets paid for.